Former Navy man and Iowa traveler Carrie J. Hahn recently spent 4 days aboard the Iowa with photographer Mike Abbey. Tonight, the first part in Carrie's 5-part series on the Hawkeye State's namesake.
The USS Iowa is many things to many people. Storekeeper First Class Bob Marion of Cedar Rapids.
We are the best in the Navy, there's no doubt about it.
Dispersing Clerk Chief Jerry Youngs of Cedar Rapids.
This is the epitome of the Navy. Greatest thing that ever happened to the United States Navy. The comradeship and professionalism that they've grouped together on Iowa is unbelievable.
Iowa skipper Captain Gerald Janecko.
This is a very capable ship, one that's very survivable, one that's very reliable, and has already proven itself over and over again.
New York Mayor Ed Koch.
It's terrific. And therefore, Captain, I want you to know that we receive you with open arms.
The battleship Iowa is impressive. I had last seen the Iowa in April at recommissioning ceremonies in Pascagoula, Mississippi, where she was brought back to life after 25 years in mothballs. I didn't think I'd see her again. But recently, I found myself again on deck, this time as we cast off for a 3-day trip in the Atlantic. Destination, New York City. Our ocean voyage started right here in Norfolk, Virginia. And out there's the beginning of the Atlantic Ocean. For a landlocked Iowan and a former Navy enlisted man, it was indeed fun being at sea. Believe me, there's something you won't see in Iowa. My intentions this week are to share my onboard experiences at sea, to meet the men who man the Iowa, and show you life on a floating city. What's Iowa? About the Iowa? Well, tomorrow we'll show you how Iowa the Iowa is. I'm Carrie J. Hahn, the Iowa Traveler, on the USS Iowa, somewhere in the Atlantic. What's in a name? Aboard the USS Iowa, they take their name and namesake very seriously. Wherever in the world the Iowa is dispatched to show the flag, the Iowa flag is shown as well. The Silver Service, presented to the original Iowa nearly 100 years ago and represented by Governor Terry Branstad earlier this year, is displayed proudly in the officers' wardroom. And wherever you go on this floating city of 1,600 people, there are reminders of Iowa everywhere in the form of posters and artwork of Iowa presented by Iowans last spring. The crew of the Iowa really is never too far from Iowa. In fact, they're real close to Cedar Rapids. Executive Officer Captain John Chernesky says the Iowa connection is strong.
We enjoyed, during the recommissioning process, a very warm, personal relationship with the people of Iowa. And that warm relationship, which was engendered thanks to the governor and the captain enjoying a good personal and professional relationship, filtered on down. It went great.
And what's most Iowa about the Iowa are the 24 crew members from Iowa, right? Hello, Iowa! Here are some of them.
Hi, I'm SK1 Bob Marion from Cedar Rapids, Iowa. How you doing?
Master Chief Boatswain TC1 here from Dubuque, Iowa.
Seaman John McCraney from Waterloo, Iowa. Hello, Mom and everybody.
My name's Gunsmith Gunson Class Dwayne G. Whittle. I'd like to say hi to my family back in Elkader.
Hello, I'm Seaman Lovering from Waterloo, Iowa.
Hi, I'm Seaman Q from West Union, Iowa. I'd like to say hi to everybody in Iowa.
Hello, I'm Chief Jerry Youngs from Cedar Rapids, Iowa. I'd like to say hello to my mother, Arlene, in Cedar Rapids, my sister, Debbie, in Cedar Rapids, and my sister, Teresa, in Marion.
I'm SK3 Trammell from Waterloo, Iowa. Hello, Mom and Dad.
Tomorrow's another day, and tomorrow we'll chronicle a day in the life of an Iowa sailor. I'm Carrie J. Hahn, the Iowa Traveler, on the road, on the water, on the USS Iowa. The day usually begins at 6 a.m. for storekeeper third-class Billy Trammell of Waterloo. Billy is an '81 graduate of Denver, Iowa High School, and he's nearing the end of his first enlistment. Today, Billy skips breakfast, opting for Coke. His way to work is a walk down a passageway that leads to the bow of the ship. Billy works 3 levels below the waterline in the storekeeper's area.
I'm a storekeeper, basically a warehouseman. When you need a part, I look it up in my manuals, find the part number, go to my stock bins locations, and find the part, bring it back to you, and give it to you in exchange for a price that the Navy charges for it.
When you're out in the middle of the ocean, there is no other store to go to.
We've got everybody's business.
Billy is also a newlywed. A picture of his wife, Carol, is always close at hand.
We've only been married about a year now, so every time we get home after deployment, it's almost like a new honeymoon again anyway, so...
But the Iowa is his home at sea, and you have to take care of everyday things here, like mailing a letter, picking up your dry cleaning, getting a haircut, and, of course, eating. Today's menu is turkey with tomato rice. On the mess decks, you learn the latest scuttlebutt from your pals. For recreation, they have TV and movies aboard, but Billy's choice is a trip down the hatch to the ship gymnasium. Billy is pleased with duty on the Iowa.
It's exciting seeing the guns shoot and the ship going where we have been. It's what I was looking for.
So does he plan to re-up?
I'm going to re-enlist, basically. I'm looking for a nice tour, quiet tour of duty in Iceland.
Why Iceland?
The long nights.
And you think you can take your wife there, huh?
I've already asked it, yes.
Smooth sailing, Billy. Tomorrow, we get to the main reason the Iowa is back in the fleet. Its defense role. I'm Kerry J. Hahn, the Iowa Traveler, at sea on the Iowa in the Atlantic. Teddy Roosevelt said, "Speak softly and carry a big stick. This is the big stick." The Iowa has 3 turrets containing 9 16-inch guns, 6 mounts with 12 5-inch guns.
Target range 18,000.
Target range 18,000.
060 true.
Mouse 5153, station. Mouse 51, Mouse 53, station.
Target range inbound. Target range 16,000. 061
Mouse 51, Mouse 53, surface action starboard.
Mouse 51, Mouse 53, surface action starboard.
Target range 15,000.
061 true.
1 loaded, 3 loaded, Mouse 5 loaded.
Target range 12,000. Target inbound.
Mouse 51, Mouse 53, batteries released.
Mouse 51, Mouse 53.
Target range 11,000.
Rapid continuous fire, commence fire.
Red fire.
When they all fire at once, it's called a broadside. And standing on the bow, when they all go off, is an experience I'll never forget.
3, 2, 1, shoot.
But as impressive as these conventional weapons are, the most lethal are the ones you don't see.
The Iowa is about freedom, it's about strength, and it's rich in history and tradition.
I guess the classic comment about weapons is the best weapon is the one that's never used.
The most exciting part about our trip on the Iowa was our steaming into New York Harbor. Stay tuned. We'll show you that tomorrow. I'm Kerry J. Hahn, the Iowa Traveler, on the USS Iowa.
The USS Iowa was built in 1942 in the New York Navy Yard. In 1988, the Navy plans to make New York the home port for the Iowa. So it was a homecoming for the Iowa when she steamed into Manhattan recently. Iowa Traveler Kerry J. Hahn was aboard. He was the last in his series on the battleship named for the Hawkeye State.
Are we ready? On the left. All right.
Before we got to New York, they tried to make an old salt out of me. There's an old tradition, holy stoning the teakwood deck. In the old days, this is always how they polished the planks. Today, it's mostly for show.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
They've also got one old Navy hammock on board, and of course, they wanted me to try it.
Does it roll?
Well, on a trip with lots of ups, that was fortunately the only down. And the last Friday, the last day, dawned, and we entered New York Harbor. We have to pass under the Verrazano Bridge. On one side is Brooklyn, the other side Staten Island. It's a hazy morning, but the sun's just breaking out. Because of the fog and the scaffolding around it, it may not look like the Statue of Liberty, but it is. I've never been to New York before, neither is my photographer, Mike Albee, and we're seeing it just like the immigrants. Well, this is one trip I'll never forget, that's for sure, and I hope you enjoyed it too through our reports.